Thank you for having me back. I am so happy to be here. This is my 5th in Horgenta. Happy 50th to in Horgenta. So as the slide says, today we're going to do a masterclass for retailers of all sizes, from someone who is maybe a concierge jeweler on social media to a retailer that has multiple locations. So this is me. I am also a gemologist. I've done extensive training in all types of gemology, including diamonds, jewelry making. So what is the number one thing today on optimizing your digital presence? It's making sure that your website is optimized for mobile. All of the search engines today, Google, Bing, Yahoo, Yandex, they all are going to optimize websites that are mobile friendly. How do you make your website mobile friendly? Well, you can use certain applications such as Wix. You can even hire someone on Fiverr. I actually looked it up earlier. For as little as 100 euros, you can pay someone on Fiverr to optimize your entire website for mobile. It is very, very easy today. You really don't even have to know what they're doing, but what they are doing is they're making sure that no matter what type of device your client and customer are opening up your website on, whether that be a mobile phone, an iPhone, a flip Samsung phone, tablet, laptop, desktop, that all of the images are going to automatically size right for the device, that all of your links, all of your text are going to show up correctly on the site. And so that's the number one most important thing, is having your website mobile optimized. You also want to make sure that your website's on brand. What does that mean? If you are selling bridal jewelry, for example, you probably want to have some images of engagements and couples and happy things on your site, and not just have it be kind of a plain site. You also are going to want to, like it says, improve your website to meet your target audience's needs. One of the biggest things that I find with jewelers' websites is there's too many links. There's too many drop-down tabs. There's way too many options. You want to make it as not just clean as in making it look like modern, that's a brand thing, but you want to have it be easy to use. So what are your customers coming to you for? Are they coming to you for jewelry, for repairs, for custom design? You don't want to have many, many different things on the site for them to look at. And then, like we said, make sure mobile and desktop. Over 90% of customers today are shopping right here. And this isn't anything new. Being social. So I've given a couple presentations here before about social media, and today I want it just to be really a cog in the wheel of everything digital. Make sure that you have your profile claimed on all sites. So what does that mean? If you're going to be active on just, let's say, Facebook and Instagram, and not really use Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, you still want to have your company's name claimed on there. You can have your brand logo, a link to your website, and something like follow us on Instagram, something simple. That's always something that I always tell brands to do, even if they're not ready to be active on every single site, because let's face it, all of those logos at the bottom of the page, it's a lot to keep up with, and believe it or not, there's even more than what I've shown. You also want to make sure that your brand is interacting on the social sites that you are on and that you are active on, that you're doing more than just publishing content to the site. 5+ years ago, you could get away with growing on social media by just posting on the different apps. And today, you not only need to post, but you need to engage. Now, engagement, there's a couple different ways of that. I'm talking about more than just answering DMs and hearting comments on your posts. You need to also engage with the wider community. So let's use a retailer as an example. You're a retailer, you carry multiple different brands that are here in Horgenta. You work with several local stone setters and engravers, maybe a local florist does the flowers in your store. You work with a local caterer that maybe does things for your special events. You want to be following all of those accounts, and you want to be engaging with all of those accounts. In America, we have like a chocolate milk, and kids are kind of known for blowing bubbles into their chocolate milk, and they fill up the glass with bubbles. Think of social media like those bubbles, like that foam, that froth at the top of the glass, and every bubble is touching another bubble. And it's important, if you want your bubble to grow bigger, it has to touch more bubbles. So that's kind of how I explain it easiest. So today you cannot just publish on social media, you also have to engage. You also can now, there's so many different things that social media sites are giving marketers access to. So on the Meta Business Suite, which if you do Facebook ads, Instagram ads, WhatsApp ads, Meta is the company that owns all three of those sites. They also own Threads, kind of a Twitter competitor now. There is an app called Meta Business Suite, and you can actually upload your customer list. So if you're a retailer that's been around for 20 years, and you have names, emails, phone numbers, addresses of your customers, you can actually upload them now, that entire database, to the Meta Business Suite, and then Meta will find like customers just that are around your customers that you can target now in your Facebook ads. So it's a fairly new feature, but a lot of jewelers that I talk to and a lot of designers that I work with, their version of targeting is clicking all of the predetermined meta things like, okay, I want to sell engagement rings to more people in Munich. So I'm going to say Munich, jewelry, fashion, wedding, and they click those different boxes on the targeting suite. All you're going to get is other jewelers in the Munich area. You're not, or other bridal service people in the Munich area. You're not really going to be getting customers that are looking for wedding rings. What's most likely to work is a couple has come in to get engaged. Maybe their parents used to shop with you. You have their name, their email, their phone number. You upload this to Meta Business Suite. It targets their friends, their neighbors, their kids, their college buddies, their coworkers. A lot better targeting than before, where we would just click, certain predetermined things from Meta. So this goes to what I just said. So if maybe you have been around for 20 years, your customer list is a little older. Maybe you don't have emails for everyone. Maybe you don't have telephones for everyone. You want to make sure to build a current contact list. On many different sites, including on the social media sites I just mentioned, there are funnels to get contact information. Probably the easiest way on social media that a lot of people use is doing some sort of contest or giveaway of sorts. And you can get several hundred targeted emails that way. But at the store, it's as easy as having your salespeople remind your customers to give you that contact information. Also in North America, it's become really, really popular to do text marketing. I was talking with a few designers about this earlier today, and there are several like clothing brands. I'm 6'8". I'm a very tall person. I have, I wear size 17 shoes. There's not every store that I can find. I think in the EU size, it's like 52. I think that's what it is, but it's big. I can't go over here to the Rhyme Arcade and find shoes. It's very difficult. So I have a few brands that I've shopped with before, and they contact me via text. And it's not spammy. It's maybe once a month they'll send me something. I have to opt into it, that there's new designs, new colors. Maybe there's some sort of offer, free pair of socks, 10% off, something like that. There's many different ways that you can get a current contact list, but it's very, very important to try to get as much information about your existing customers, because as I spoke about in the last slide, you can use your existing customers to target new customers in your local area as well. Okay, now we're gonna run through a few tips. So, hire or partner influential people to bring eyes to your brand. So I've seen a lot of brands all around the world, work with people like myself to get new eyeballs on their work. My audience is pretty trade focused, and so that might be good for a trade show that's looking to get new designers to come show, or a retailer that's looking for new designers to come in into their store to maybe do trunk shows or something like that. But you would actually be surprised that more direct sales through links can come through that local mommy blogger that maybe only has 10,000 followers in your local city, or that person that's a travel person. Don't think of influencers as just someone that is in that specific field. Think of it as someone that has an active audience that maybe is in many different fields that can bring more eyes to your brand. I know a retailer in New England, back in the States. They're a Rolex store, and they have 6 locations, and they have had a lot of success working with upscale vehicle dealers, such as like Range Rover, Jaguar, and doing different men's events. They also worked with a cigar company. They worked with a liquor company to get new eyes on their brand. So make sure that it's something that's kind of in your wheelhouse, but you would be surprised. You can hire an agency to update your PLAs, product listing ads on Google. Remarketing is where someone clicks on something or looks at something, and then later on they're reading the newspaper on their tablet, and your store will pop up on it. That's what remarketing is. There are many, many different agencies out there that you can hire to help you with that. Always pay attention to analytics. So I know a lot of retailers these days are farming out their social media. I think 5 years ago, it was maybe the niece that's back home from college was kind of helping out with social media. And then maybe they had like a store salesperson or something doing the social media. Now they have kind of passed it off to an agency. You can still get analytics on your own. So look at Google Business Suite, look at Meta Business Suite, even on X, on Twitter, on LinkedIn. There are many different ways to get analytics and use that to your benefit, because you'd be very surprised some of the people that are seeing your work that aren't buying your jewelry or buying jewelry from you. Claim and update your listings on Google, Yelp, and elsewhere. One of the biggest things that I see with retailers is that they only focus on Google, Google, Google. Now, Google is king. 5-10 years ago, they had 98% of the European search market. I looked it up this morning. They're down to 90%. So they're not the total monopoly anymore. Bing actually has 8% of the German market. Why does Bing have 8%? Because everyone that's still going to the office, a lot of times they're on their office computers, their office devices when they're shopping, whenever they're checking out something or looking for something on a break at work in between a call. And Microsoft is embedded in all those devices. So don't be afraid to go and claim your listings and do advertising and search words and stuff on Bing, Yahoo. There's another popular search engine in Europe called Yandex. I think they were a little controversial because they had Russian ownership, and now they don't. Now they're based in Belgium. They have 3% of the market. It's a lot easier to be seen on a smaller search engine than on a big search engine with, that has 90% of the market. It also can be a lot more affordable too. So don't be afraid to check out smaller apps. The same thing with social media. Everyone talks about TikTok, Snapchat. There's a huge community of people on Snapchat, still on Twitter, on LinkedIn as well, when everyone just talks about TikTok and Instagram, really. You want to make sure to answer and respond to all customer queries and reviews. 5-star reviews is another big way to get higher on search engines. And that's another thing that you can do in your store and on social media. Have a little sign in your store at the register that says, leave us a review. Have your salespeople talk to the best clients and say, hey, you had a really good experience. Would you mind leaving us a review? Have it on the back of their business cards, along with all your social profiles for that matter. And I'm not a big fan of pop-ups on websites unless it's just one simple thing. So make sure that you have it targeted. Maybe for a quarter, you can have it be, give us your email. For the next quarter, it can be, leave us a review. For the next quarter, it can be 10% off for Valentine's Day, whatever it is. But make sure that you have that as well. Okay, today with AI, you can have self-written blogs on your website. Every retailer needs to have at least one blog post a month posted on their website. So easy. You literally prompt the search engine, write me a story about the history of gold and wedding bands. Read over it, make sure you like the content, publish it. You need blog content on your website. At least once a month. And make sure it's something relevant to what you're selling and what you're doing, obviously, and add in a couple of fun keywords that you're also doing with your search engine searches to make sure that those come back to it. Backlinks is the last tip that I have. What a backlink is where your website's mentioned all around the web. So if there's a local newspaper that mentions you, make sure that they have your website and that they link it on the digital version of that. If you work with some influencer, make sure that they have your website on there. If you have like a local kind of a yellow pages guide of sorts, we have one called the Scout Guide in Texas, where I'm from. Make sure that they have your up-to-date website link on there. Because backlinks are also going to bring up your SEO rankings. There's a lot of back doors. I know it's easy with everything that we do today just to kind of pay an agency to do things, but there's a lot of these tips that you or an employee can do that take very little time, very little effort, and will get the biggest bang for the buck, so to speak. And that's my presentation. Yeah, I'm Third Coast Gems on social media. If y'all have any more questions, you can DM me. And I think we might have a few moments for questions now, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see the MC. I'll take over. I don't see him. Do we have any questions? Anything digital, social media, websites? Hi. She's coming with a microphone.
I try to do my best.
Hi, thank you very much for the talk. I was just wondering, can Google not tell if your blog is written by AI?
So here's the thing. That's why I kind of prefaced it with make sure that it's relevant content to your site. And make sure that you can go through and add a few keywords about. So like, let's say, for example, you ask it to write an article about wedding bands, like I said. Your store only does handcrafted, made in jewelry, or made in Germany, goldsmith. Make sure that you have those keywords in there, and you should be fine. What Google's really looking for is to make sure that you're a real person, so that you're not a spam site. A lot of times those spam sites are going to have like ads. There's going to be banner ads and all sorts of links outside of the website. As long as you don't have that, it really doesn't matter that you're using AI. Yeah, but that's a good question for sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're fine. Yeah. If I can hear you too, I'll answer the question as well. But yeah.
I was just wondering, sharing your customer information about your customers, if it's legal in Europe and if customers like it, because I think many people like to be private and discreet and wouldn't be liking it if you shared their email addresses and contacts and everything with Google.
So two things to remember. So one, I know that Europe is different when it comes to privacy. But remember, the people that have given you their email because they've done business with you, they've opted in, okay? So if they're already on your email list, that's where we're starting from. The second thing is what I actually spoke about uploading was to Meta. So that's Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Yeah, I know. Just to make the difference between Google and them. And it's targeting for your posts and your ads. So no other company is going to be getting the information. It's part of your business suite. So I guarantee you, with how much scrutiny Meta's been under, if it's available to you here in Europe, then it's legal. So if the customer has opted into it, you're targeting other customers that are around them. It's what's the word I want to use? It's not like you're going to be sending them like a pop-up or something in their email or at their home. This is when they're scrolling on social media, they're more likely to see your ad. Because let's be honest, Aldi's doing it, all these other IKEA's doing it, all these other companies are doing what I just described. If someone buys a new set of cookware at IKEA and they opt in to get the email from IKEA's digital marketing person is totally uploading their information into that. I guess it's scary here in Europe, and in the US, we are like bombarded with advertisements everywhere from the age of 2. We eat cereal and there's an ad in there, so I guess we're just more used to it. But I guarantee you European companies are targeting customers. So you should be as well. You don't want to be left behind, yeah. Any other questions? Social media? Okay. Thank you all so much for having me.
Thank you, Benjamin.
Yeah.